Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian lad, and today I've watched Logan at 0.25x speed.
Fuck off, Logan.
And found 20 new details that you may or may not have seen before. There are some details here that will make you love this movie even more. But before I begin, I'd like to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Displate. Displate is a company that makes really cool, high-quality printed posters on metal in a variety of sizes. They were kind enough to send me a few to hang on my own walls, and it's actually really simple. They're attached by magnets, so there are no tools needed to display these awesome posters. They have so many designs on their website, from Marvel to gaming to space and pretty much anything you could think of. And the best part is, every displayed print you purchase helps a non-profit organization that helps communities around the world plant trees and care for them. So every displayed cell equals one tree planted. Now I have curated a few of my favorite displays for you lads on their website, which you can check out by clicking the link in description. Right now you can receive 21% off any one display or 31% off on any 2 or more displays by clicking on my link. The discount is valid until February 2nd, so don't miss out on the chance to get your very own displays at a special discount. By buying a display, you're directly supporting my channel and also planting trees. Number 1. When Logan leaves Professor X in their hideaway, the metallic locks on the door makes the shape of an X. Number 2. When Logan was looking at the profile of Laura, it says she has an emotional IQ of 74 to 78 months. That's about a 6-year-old kid. This explains why she often behaves like a much younger child. For example, riding a coin-operated pony or pushing every button in the elevator. Number 3. At the beginning of the film, some thieves were trying to steal the tires from Logan's limo. So Logan warns the thieves that they'll just strip the chrome plating off of the lug nuts they're trying to undo.
Those are chrome-plated lugs. You're gonna strip them. Plating flakes off.
And sure enough, when Logan is hit in the back with the same tire iron, chrome dust can be seen flying out of it, indicating he was right. Number 4. When Logan falls flat on the ground, Laura had to drive him to the clinic. But notice, when it was Logan's turn to drive, Laura moves a bag from the driver's seat. It's because when she was driving Logan to the clinic, she had to sit on it to drive the car, which must have made it easier for her to reach the steering wheel. Number 5. When Professor X is having a seizure at the hotel and Logan stabs the first guy in the head, the impact of the guy's head on the wall causes the door lock to swing open. Number 6. When Logan was in the clinic, there's an anti-drinking poster in the waiting room that depicts alcohol being poured into a metal man, which is a reference to Logan himself, as he has been shown being addicted to booze to come in terms with his pain. Number 7. Throughout the movie, we learn that Dr. Rice was killing mutants through a mutant cure, and the mutant cure is now present in everyday corn syrup.
I realized we needn't stop perfecting what we eat and drink, that we could use those products to perfect ourselves, to distribute gene therapy discreetly through everything from sweet drinks to breakfast cereal.
Drink it. Corn syrup. This is those drinks that everyone's having.
That's how everyone consumed regular food products and took the cure even without knowing, implying that Logan's healing factor is depleting now of all times because he has also unknowingly consumed the cure. It's also why he's aging significantly faster than he ever has. And in the film we see Logan is drinking a lot, and a quick search reveals apparently a lot of beer has corn syrup. Corn syrup is so prevalent in the average American's diet that it can be found growing in the DNA of their hair follicles. So your dad was right, you may have a corny haircut. And if you think only adamantium was killing him, that's not correct, because the corn syrup reduced his healing ability, which allowed the adamantium poisoning to take effect. Number 8. The bullet holes on Logan's chest form an X. Which brings my next detail, number 9. After Logan's fight with his clone aka X-24, his forehead wounds also form an X. And there's another one at the end, but this was implied heavily, so I'm dropping it off the list. Number 10. Logan wears a black t-shirt until he regains his humanity. That's when we see him changing to a white wife-beater. And when he fights his clone, the clone was wearing black. This mirrors the Western classic Shane that they watch in the hotel, where Shane wears a white hat and Jack Wilson wears black. Now before you say this is a stretch, the director of Logan, James Mangold, has actually confirmed that Shane was an inspiration for this film. Number 11. Right from the beginning, we can see Logan walking with a limp. It's because a Yakuza shot Logan in the leg in the Wolverine, leaving him with a limp. His injury returns in this film again because of his weakened healing factor, so it's not just a random limp. Number 12. In one of the first scenes of this movie, Logan attends a funeral at Greenwood Cemetery. Now notice a gravestone with the name Rogers can briefly be seen, and Captain America aka Steve Rogers was buried at the very same cemetery in the Ultimate Continuity. Now Logan takes place in the year 2000 2029, and we know Steve has become very old in the current year of 2023. So could it be that MCU connects its timeline to Logan's, meaning the old Cap that we see in 2023 will die in the year 2029? Now this I believe is a massive stretch, so you can deduct a point for this one. Number 13. When Logan was fighting the henchmen of Donald Pierce, one of the henchmen is using a gun made by CMMG called the Mutant. A very clever Easter egg that is impossible to notice without slow motion. Number 14. The newly purchased boots Logan puts on in the hotel are called Wolverine 1000-mile boots. I mean, of course. Number 15. Now, as I said, the director of this film is James Mangold, who is one of the producers of the film The Greatest Showman, also starring Hugh Jackman. Now, in that film, the border around the end credits shows Wolverine's claws, which is a nod to Logan. Now, I gotta say, I didn't come up with this detail. I found it on Facebook over a year ago. I just managed to find 19 details and I wanted to make it 20, so there you go. Number 16. Logan mentions multiple times that he intends to kill himself.
Actually, I was thinking of shooting myself.
This is somewhat made true by Logan being killed by X-24, his own genetic clone. Number 17. Throughout the film, we see Laura playing with a ball. Now, this is the same ball that Richter was playing with in the facility in Mexico. And the reason I'm including this detail is because only after watching this film in slow motion, I managed to notice this detail. But I'm sure some of you lads must have seen it before. Number 18. Logan's cruel death was predicted in the Wolverine back in 2013.
Logan, I saw you die. I see you on your back. There's blood everywhere. You're holding your own heart in your hand.
Notice how Yukio smiles a little bit when she says, "You're holding your own heart in your hand."
You're holding your own heart in your hand.
It's because she knew he would be holding the hand of his daughter, so holding your own heart was a metaphor. This was actually confirmed by James Mangold on Twitter, who directed both films. Number 19. In X-Men Days of Future Past, Dr. Hank McCoy, aka the Beast, thinks that in the future mutants will always die, and they can never change the future even though they succeed and save mutants.
It's like a river. You can throw a pebble into it, create a ripple, but the current always corrects itself. Saying is, what if the war is inevitable?
And in this film, mutants are once again almost extinct, therefore proving McCoy was actually right. Number 20. Now for this very last detail, I've decided to conclude by explaining how awesome of a film Logan is. Let's talk about the acting for a second. Logan promised Charles that he will buy a boat. We'll start living in the ocean instead of hiding in the dark.
Gonna get ourselves a boat. Gonna go live on the ocean.
But when he couldn't fulfill his promise to Charles, he at least did his best by burying him near a lake.
It's got water. Water.
I mean, just look at the way Hugh Jackman portrayed the role of Logan. And then this. His hands were shaking ever so slightly, but as soon as his daughter holds his hand, his shaking fades away. A daughter holding the hand of her father who also lost a father figure himself. Could it be any more beautiful than this? Could it be any more tragic than this? And at the end when he says,
This is what it feels like.
now I'm willing to believe he's not only talking about his death here, but the feeling of loving someone and being loved unconditionally, breathing his final breath with his chest open, but having his heart at his own hand. Now, I'm gonna give you some amazing facts from this film that will make us appreciate the actors even more. Now, disclaimer, I didn't find the following details, they're just plain facts. Number 1. Sir Patrick Stewart lost 21 pounds to play Charles Xavier as elderly and sick. Stewart claimed that he had a steady weight since he was a teenager and had never willingly lost weight before. And Hugh Jackman genuinely held Stewart in all of the scenes of Logan carrying Professor Xavier. Number 2. Hugh Jackman induced dehydration for 48 hours prior to filming scenes of Logan shirtless so that he can lose the water weight. Number 3. When Charles Xavier suffers from his seizures, Hugh Jackman did not act as if he's being pushed away. Instead, he was being held by a rope pulled by 2 men in order to give a more realistic portrayal of being restrained. Number 4. Daphne Keane, who plays Laura, was 11 years old at the time of filming, so was not allowed inside the casino even with all the correct shooting permits. So some shots were done with Keane on a green screen, and some scenes were shot in the actual casino with Keane's body double Charmaine Merton, who is over 18 but of a similar build to Keane. Number 5. The F word in this film was used 35 times. And that's it. Here goes my breakdown of Logan at 0.25x speed, and I hope I managed to give you at least a few new details. If I did, then please grab the subscribe button, and I would really appreciate it if you could take a minute and visit thecanadianlad.merchforall.com to browse my official Canadian Lad merchandise. And also, please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and follow me on Instagram to get updates about my channel. Till then, I'm Kevin Hart, and I'll see you lads in the next one.